Good morning, everybody. Have a nice morning today. Have a very nice time with my English class at the beginning of the day. Welcome. You are most welcome to my digital classroom, your spoken English class. Spend just 2 or 3 minutes a day here in my class and be a fluent English speaker very shortly. Today I'll read 2 beautiful stories with 2 beautiful lessons for all of us. Try to follow me, yes, with all your attention. Now the stories. But you have to wait a bit till the end to know the names and the morals. Let's start the first story. Once upon a time, a country mouse who had a friend in town invited him, for old acquaintance's sake, to pay him a visit in the country. Though plain and rough and somewhat frugal in his nature, the country mouse opened his heart and store in honor of an old friend. There was not a carefully stored up morsel that he did not produce from his larder, peas and barley, to please the palate of his city-bred guest. The town mouse, however, turned up his long nose at the rough country fare. How is it? Endured the boredom of living like a toad in a hole. You couldn't really prefer these solitary rocks and woods to the excitement of the city. You are wasting your time out here in the wilderness. A mouse, does not live forever. One must make the most of life while it lasts. So come with me. I'll show you life and the town. In the end, the country mouse allowed himself to be persuaded, and the 2 friends set out together on their journey to town. It was late in the evening when they crept stealthily into the city, and midnight before they reached the great house where the town mouse lived. On the table of the splendid banquet room were the remains of a lavish feast. It was now the turn of the city mouse to play the host. He ran to and fro to supply all the guests' wants. He pressed dish upon dish and dainty upon dainty upon him, as though he were waiting on a king. The country mouse, for his part, pretended to feel quite at home, and blessed the good fortune that had wrought such a change in his way of life. But in the midst of his enjoyment, just as he was beginning to feel contempt for his frugal life in the country, the sound of barking and growling could be heard outside the door. "What is that?" said the country mouse. "Oh, that is only the master's dogs," replied the town mouse. "Only?" replied the visitor in dismay. "I can't say that I like music with my dinner." At that moment, the door flew open, and a party of revelers, together with 2 huge dogs, burst into the room. The frightened friends jumped from the table and concealed themselves in a far corner of the chamber. At length, when things seemed quiet, the country mouse stole out from his hiding place, and bidding his friend goodbye, whispered in his ear, "This fine way of living may do for those who like it, but give me my barley bread in peace and in security, in preference to your dainty fare partaken with fear and trembling." The name of the story: The Country Mouse and the Town Mouse. And the moral: a crust eaten in peace is better than a banquet partaken in anxiety. The second story: 2 pots, one of earthenware and the other of brass, were carried downstream by a river in flood. The brass pot begged his companion to remain as close by his side as possible, and he would protect him. "You are very kind," replied the earthen pot, "but that is just what I am afraid of. If you only keep your distance, I shall be able to float down in safety. But should we come too close, whether I strike you or you strike me, I am sure to be the one who will get the worst of it." The name of the story: The 2 Pots. Moral: avoid too powerful neighbors. Now, daily motivational quote: never give up a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Earl Nightingale. Thank you. Wish you a very good day ahead. Stay attached. Stay tuned.